Hi there, and welcome to this month of Dori Talks. I'm Dori Soukup, and I'm here today to share with you 6 business principles to ensure growth. So here are the facts. Out of 1 million businesses that open up every year, only about 40,000 actually succeed the first 5 years that they're actually in business. You may wonder, why is that? Well, it's a fact also that the reason businesses fail or don't succeed is because they lack what we call the 4 S's: systems, structure, solutions, and strategies that they need to implement into the business with a successful business model to make sure that they're able to succeed and grow the business. So in this episode, I'm going to go over these 6 principles so you can be armed with what you need to ensure your growth. So the very first principle is to conduct a SWOT analysis. As a matter of fact, last month I gave you a complimentary gift that was an assessment document to assess your business, and I did a webinar for you also called Assess and Grow Your Business. So I would advise you, if you have not tapped into that document yet, you really should, and take the time to assess your business. So I like to do a SWOT analysis with every single person when we start working with them. The S in SWOT stands for strength. What are you doing right now? And what do you need to continue doing or actually magnify the good things that you are doing right now? Sometimes we take what we're doing good for granted and we don't build on it. So when you do a SWOT analysis, it would be important for you to do that. The W in SWOT is all about the weaknesses, or I like to say your challenges rather than weaknesses. So you need to sit down when you go through that assessment document that I gave you. You need to sit down and really see what are those challenges that your business is faced with right now, and how can you improve them? How can you come up with solutions for actually those situations that you have right now? And how can you fix those challenges? So that would be a very important exercise for you to go through. And then the O in SWOT is opportunities. A lot of times we don't tap into opportunities that are right there for us. It's what I call low-hanging fruits. We all have those in our businesses, and sometimes we just don't take advantage of them. One of the biggest low-hanging fruits that you miss out on all the time is actually retail sales. That is just the easiest thing for you to be able to multiply your revenue with if you simply implement the program that we call Don't Sell, Recommend, and the Pride system. So those are the things that you need to look at your business and seek out these opportunities. The other thing we talk about with opportunities is conducting the daily success planning meeting, where your team can see where they are for the day, who's coming in, what are the opportunities that we can tap into for that day. And that is something that often we don't see in places unless folks are members with us, because these are things that we teach within the business model that we actually offer on MEDSPA Biz University. So those are things that you need to do. And then the T in SWOT is actually threats. So God forbid, what could happen? And do you have a parachute that can help you carry on until whatever that threat goes away? So doing a SWOT analysis, not only on your business, but also having your team, each team member do a SWOT analysis for themselves. It'll be a great group exercise to do with everyone on your team. That way we can find out what we need to do, how can we grow to ensure our success. So that was step number 1, principle number 1. Principle number 2 is having a marketing plan. This is another big missed opportunity. And if you remember watching this, you have a marketing plan that we offer all members on MEDSPA Biz University that is complete with over 70 different ways to market your business. If you don't have a plan, then you don't have a plan for success. It's like getting in the car and driving aimlessly without a destination in mind. Every road you take is going to take you somewhere, but is it going to take you to where you want to go? And a marketing plan is all about lead generation, lead management, attracting that ideal client to your business. Make sure that it is the affluent client that can afford what you provide for them, and then be able to purchase from you over and over and over. So having a marketing plan and knowing exactly what theme do we have for the month, what are we going to do next month, it'll be wise for you to do actually the next 3 months of planning. And so just to share with you a quick little success story, last month, one of our high achiever members, Dr. Walters, she did nominate your loved one for Valentine's Day. And we did this whole promotion with her. We created that landing page. People were nominating their loved ones for a makeover. She didn't spend any money on marketing with that campaign. And she was able to generate over 200 leads of people who are interested in medical aesthetic treatments for hardly any investment. So being creative and planning ahead is what separates a good marketing strategy from a bad one, because what happens most often is people react rather than being proactive and planning. So I want to give you that advice. And again, make sure you have a marketing plan or have a marketing person that's on your team that is helping you with all your marketing. So that would be very important fact to also do. The third principle is focusing on increasing your volume per guest or revenue per guest. You hear me talk about this all the time, because at the end of the day, that's truly how you measure success. It's really that simple. So for every person that walks into your facility, how much are we generating from that one person? How much are we generating in service revenue? And how much are we generating from retail revenue? How many members are we enrolling? Those are the things that are so crucial to your success, and it's a very important principle to monitor. People that I work closely with and my team works closely with, we monitor volume per guest on daily basis, and those volume per guest are posted in the team lounge by person. So your entire team knows exactly where they are, and then we put a performance-based compensation model that is tied to those volume per guest goals, and that's the way they would be able to earn more and be able to bonus. So if you don't monitor your volume per guest, you really need to. You need to monitor it for, again, service, retail. You also should monitor how many consultations we did in one day, how much revenue we're generating per consultation from brand new clients, and then how much revenue are we generating from our reoccurring revenue model, your VIP program. So those are all things that are so easily done. I mentioned a little earlier, the don't sell, recommend. That is truly, you guys, if you just focus on that, it makes such a huge difference with your business. So we have the races going on this week. So I hear the jets flying over. I don't know if you can hear it, but that is very cool, because our office is literally across from the Speedway, and this weekend is the Daytona 500. So we're hearing them buzz around the Speedway. The town is absolutely jam-packed with people for the Daytona 500. So that's probably what you're hearing overhead. Very exciting weekend here. So maybe next year you should come. As a matter of fact, we have a very exciting weekend for us next weekend. We're hosting the Leap Ahead seminar. We have over 100 people coming from all over the country to attend, so they can be armed with a successful business model. So a lot is happening here. All right, so let's move on to principle number 4. Principle number 4 is monitoring your team performance and expectation. I have to say that's probably one of the biggest challenges I see, is that a lot of places don't hire properly. We use what we call the clarity hiring system. And all this should really be talked about and discussed during the hiring process. What are those performance measures that we use? How are we going to track performance? What are those expectations? How will they be rewarded? All those things should really be in the hiring process. Now, if you already have a team in place, often what we do, we actually re-interview the team. If we're launching a fresh start, for example, we re-interview the team to make sure that they understand what their position description is, what the performance expectations are, how we're going to evaluate them, all those great things that go along with building a high-performing team. Again, if you don't talk about those early on, then you're going to get this pushback later on. You're not going to have buy-in from the team, and that's when you start having bad culture, bad performance, everybody's doing the indifferent thing, and things just get out of hand, and that's when your business will flatline, and unless you make some changes, you're in deep you know what. So be careful and make sure your team is doing what they need to do to perform and help you reach the results that you are looking for. All right, so principle number 5 is tapping into multiple MedSpa treatment modalities. I was doing a high achiever call yesterday with one of our members, and we were talking about how some of their injectors, their volume per guest, revenue per guest is only like $400. And then they have some injectors whose revenue per guest is $1,600. It's like, what separates those two? Well, obviously, the one that's doing $1,600 per guest is doing multiple modalities, and the person that's doing only $300 or $400 per guest is an order taker. So you are missing out on so much revenue simply because your team is not taking the time to have a conversation with your clients, to really get to know them. I was telling them yesterday, it's so important to connect with your clients on an emotional level first. Get to know them, like break the bread, right? Have something to drink together. Get to know them together before, especially if they're brand new guests, right? There should be some things that you put in place to make sure that that happens. Boy, those planes are really flying. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's amazing. There must be a really good show going on. We should go outside, John, take some footage and add it into the this episode. All right. So make sure you teach your team that. Now, we have a program that's available on MedSpa Biz University called Success with Guest Consultation. And it is our #1 seller. More people buy that program than anybody else. Our members, every single one of them, implements that program because it truly transforms your business. So if you have not tapped into how to do a get to know you consultation, this is definitely a must for your business. So make sure you check it out. Number 6 is providers and experts communication. It kind of goes into what I was just speaking about. You really need to take the time to train your team on how to communicate with the clients. They don't teach you business in medical school. That's really a fact. You guys have been so accustomed to dealing with insurance patients. You don't have to do a greeting. You don't have to do a warm-up. You just go into the treatment room or a patient room, you do your thing and you leave. Often when I go to a doctor's office, I don't feel the love and affection and the communication, or they just come in, okay, what's wrong today? They talk to you for 2 minutes and they leave. That's a terrible experience. That's a medical experience. We're talking about medical spa experiences, medical spa communication. These people are not sick. They're coming to you because they want to look better. So it's your position, your obligation to make sure that they know what they can have to look better. And if we don't communicate that, if we don't educate them, and if your team is not owning their ground and being the experts that they are so they can make those proper recommendations, then you're totally missing out on growth. And that's why I wanted to bring these 6 principles really forward to you, Because if you just address these things, 6 things we just talked about, you will see a major transformation in your business. So I really want to encourage you to do that and make sure that you're on the right track and that you ensure your growth. Now, we've been doing the book gathering. If you have not received my newest book yet, you really should. We've been doing a book gathering twice a month. You can go to medicalaesthetics.com, be able to get a copy of it, so you can join us for the book gathering that we are doing right here out of our video production studio. So this is what I have for you for this episode of Dori Talks. Liked it? Please share it. We love it if you leave us some comments below. We love to hear your feedback, and if we could be of any help to you, make sure you reserve a success planning session so we can help guide you to get to success the fastest way possible. Until next time, stay inspired.